Hey, good morning and welcome to the second half of the year. Isn't that crazy? Just 81 days until college football. Not that I'm counting. Uh, the market this week, inflation is very close to the 2% mandate. The Fed mandates they want inflation. When you add up every month of inflation, they don't want it to exceed 2%. So they add those point threes and 0.4% and 0.1% all up. The most recent 12 months, they want it to be 2%. Actually, there's something called Super Core PCE. PCE is the Personal Consumption Expenditures Report, which the Fed uses as their favorite gauge for inflation. PCE is the cost of everything, prices for everything. Core PCE is the price of everything. They remove the cost of food and energy, whether it's restaurant, grocery store, the price of oil. Those fluctuate quite a bit. And so they think they get a truer read from the core PCE. Then they have super core PCE. That takes out food and energy and the cost of housing, whether it's buying homes, selling homes, or rents. And that super core number came in negative, like negative 0.5%. Kind of a shock. And you'll be shocked to learn that rates did absolutely nothing. We're still sitting right near 6.875, either side of it, constantly kind of waggling there with no discount. 6.375 on the FHA, the VA, and the USDA. We still have the 5 year fixed arm fixed for the first 5 years. We can get into the fives on that, 5.875 with some discount there. If that's a little aggressive, we have arms that are fixed for the first 7 years or the first 10 years. And I like that 10 year. It's lower than the 30-year fixed right now. So if you're going to get into a loan to get into something fixed for 7 to 10 years, that's a half a point better than the 30-year fixed. You're probably going to refinance within 5 years, much less 7 to 10. I hope that's true. But if it's not, a 10-year term is longer than the average length of a mortgage loan in America, which is 7 years. So think about the arms. No prepayment penalties. They still require down payment, so it's not as dangerous as some of you might remember them from the early 2000s. So, uh, what is going to happen with interest rates? If we have a negative inflation report and we don't see a change quite yet, what's it going to take? What's driving the market? Well, it's chaos and uncertainty that's driving the market. We have bond vigilantes right now. Bond vigilantes are people and entities that own a bunch of bonds and mortgage backed securities, and they become unhappy with the way the government's being run, either from a moral standpoint or, hey, this is going to be inflationary. And so they like rage sell, they angrily sell their bond holdings to punish the government, because when they do that, you flood the market with bonds and mortgage backed securities, rates stay up or they go up further. Also, we're seeing it's looking like when people are coming out of the stock market, need a place to put their money when they don't want to invest in stocks that's too volatile. Historically, they've gone into bonds and mortgage backed securities. Looking at the increases in price of gold and Bitcoin, the thought is that a lot of them are going into gold and Bitcoin instead of bonds. And that's why we're seeing great inflation numbers, but not seeing a drop in rates quite yet. Now, there are point three here. There are some Fed members of the Federal Reserve, hinting at rate reductions sooner than later or not. And that's literally what they're saying. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. We need more data. That's fine. Uh, One thing that's going to change next year on May 15th is that Jerome Powell's tenure as the chairman of the Federal Reserve will end on May 15th. That is a position that is appointed by the president. So get ready. Right now, we have 34% more sellers than buyers. I saw that in a Redfin poll today. So we got to find us some buyers. And I know there are a lot of buyers that I have right now. I'm looking at my wall in here, and people are just sitting on the fence. They'll hop into the market and look at a few, and then just kind of table it for a while. So I want to kind of have an ongoing discussion as I talk to you, as I see you this week, as to what you're hearing, what you think it is, what might help. Is there something we could do with you? We're trying to do some incentives. doing the no appraisal fee on VA stuff and things like that. Also trying to price things as aggressively as we can, just to help kind of instigate some urgency. So finding buyers, I want to know why they're on the fence. When I talk to them, I talk about total affordability. If it's somebody who's selling and then buying and kind of leery about rates, well, let's not put that entire chunk of equity down on the next house. Let's pay off everything you own and then still have a good sized down payment. So your total monthly outflow isn't as scary as it might seem with mortgage rates where they're at right now. That's just one piece of the puzzle. Uh, Part four here, we still have buy downs. We still have long term buy downs. We still have 2-1 buy downs. And they still could be seller paid in light of where the market is right now, listing heavy. We have our flexible lending space too. And point five, we do have these great investor loans. So now might be the time for someone who's never owned an investment property to purchase one, because we have the interest only ones, we have the no income qualification ones, and the rates on those are really good, relatively speaking, right? And so it's a good time to get into something like that, I think. And point six here, I have found that phone calls ain't doing it. I do video presentations after every initial phone call, and you have to get in the same room, for me, with people to really talk about what's on their mind. Uh, Answer questions, spend time with them so they don't think they have to run down a big checklist, so they're not driving and not really paying attention. People have to focus on the opportunities that are with us right now. And so I'm trying to get the most in-person meetings as I can, just to spur action and help kind of demystify things. So, you know, I will see you guys tomorrow, and have a great day. Thank you.